Oh,
to go
cool.
to all electric. I mean,
I
there's
do.
such potential for fault, for disaster,
Yeah.
for what do you think about that, man?
I'm cool with it, and it looks like our guest has arrived.
All right, all right.
Hi.
Hi guys.
How
There
are
she is.
you?
How you doing, Miss Pandora?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing
We're
awesome.
good. We're all right.
All right. Nice to finally meet you. I've been talking back and forth with you for a couple of weeks now. It's
I
great to
know, I'm
finally
so
meet you.
sorry. It was just such a crazy time. I thought I'd be able to do the podcast, but then I wasn't able to when
Yeah.
that kept happening back and forth. But I'm
And
here
you know
now.
what? That kind of stuff happens, you know? What are you gonna do?
It's life.
Yep.
So Pandora, it's great to finally meet you. Now, are you local to us? Are you in the where are you at?
I'm actually in the Philly area.
Okay,
So
good
not
deal.
too far. And I just say I love Pittsburgh. I've been there several times. I dated someone who was from the area and we used to go back there a lot. And
Okay.
it's great because I lived in LA before I moved to Pennsylvania and everything was so expensive there. I
Oh
go to
yeah.
Pittsburgh and like we eat at this diner, it's like $10 for the whole
Right.
meal. You get
Yeah.
this huge plate. Like everything is so cheap there.
Now, where are you originally from, Pandora?
Like where did I grow up?
Yeah.
Virginia. I'm a Southern girl.
Okay. Okay. So you had to move around a lot. You was living in LA, Philly, Virginia.
I moved around a little bit. Yeah.
That's
A little
nice though.
bit.
You know what I mean? Some people don't move around at all, and you kind of think to yourself, get out and do something. But you had the opportunity to see a lot of different places. That's always a plus.
Oh yeah. Well, what's even more interesting is that I traveled cross country twice.
Okay.
So I really got to see a lot of the country. And, growing up in Virginia, it's very green. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful state. It's
Right.
It's
but
very
then when I
pretty.
went out on the West Coast, I really loved it because it's such a difference from where
Yeah.
I grew up.
How long did you spend out in LA?
I lived there for 16 years.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
Yeah, that's where I started modeling. Actually, I got laid off from my day job.
Really? I bet you the work is abundant out that way compared to here in Pennsylvania, though, huh?
What's that?
I bet you there's a lot more work as far as modeling and things like that out.
Oh,
in the
you'd
West.
be surprised. You'd be surprised. The East Coast is quite a mecca of fetish work. And in
Okay.
fact, like the big fetish industry convention takes place in Florida in St. Petersburg. It's called Fetish Con.
Okay.
It just wrapped up actually last month. They just had it last month.
Were you involved in that? Did you go down?
I did not because everything that was keeping me from doing this podcast was going on.
Oh
But-
yeah, right. Right.
And I had a lot of friends who went, and in fact, a local friend of mine gave me a cold that he picked up there. Thank goodness it wasn't COVID, but
Yeah.
like everybody got sick from this cold at Fetish Con. I'm like, great, so I get bad things from Fetish Con and none of the good.
Right. And you know what's odd is it's suddenly all of a sudden turns into this time of year when everybody catches something. I don't ever remember it being like that, but here we are, August, September, and plenty of people around here caught something. There's definitely something going around.
Yeah.
And I don't ever remember it being like that,
Well, I've been pretty religious about wearing my mask.
Yeah.
And I just slacked off. The one
Right.
time I slacked off was with my friend because he's been pretty safe, and I get a ridiculous 2-week long, really bad cold.
Yeah, right.
That's the same thing that happened to me a couple weeks ago.
Did it?
Yeah, I never went out, and I was like, all right, we'll go out. Boom, immediately sick. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with
I know,
everything.
that's how I feel. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay in my house.
I was gonna just burrow a hole in the ground and just sleep.
Go back to
wake me
hermit
up.
mode. Go back to her because I was like over 2 years, nothing, not a cold, not a flu, nothing.
This is why I just don't go out next to people in general before everything happened. Now I have the best reason not to go out anymore.
Well, I'm a bit of a misanthrope, so I'm like, yeah, staying away from people, not a problem.
Yes. That's
So
like a
this
big
does-
theme here between the two of us. It's me and Ryan. Just to stay away from people.
So this
Right.
does hold true that you do have on from where I follow you, you have Miss Pandora fully vaccinated. So that is something that you do take seriously. You take your health seriously.
Very much
And
so. Yeah.
You try to stay healthy. That's
Very
great,
much
you
so.
know?
Well, and when you're self-employed, which I am,
Right,
and your job kind of relies on you not being laid up,
right.
you know,
Mhm.
then you have
Absolutely.
to be really conscientious about your health, as well as when you're a model, you have to eat properly and
Right.
exercise and all of those things because your body is kind of like your instrument,
Mhm.
I'm
Absolutely.
not trying to get into spiritual side.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I have to say, I would have compliment you on your large, large rings that you're wearing. You have very
I
large
thought you were
rings.
gonna say something else. I was
You
like,
do
they're
have
not
very
that large.
beautiful, large rings. I like them.
Like
I like
huge
them.
tracts of land. Are you Python fans? Yes, these I don't even remember where I got them, but I always get compliments on them because you can't miss them, right?
Yes. Yes, they're definitely noticeable. One of the first things I noticed, obviously.
Thank you. The other being my smile, I'm sure.
Of course, your smile being first. So, Miss Pandora, let me ask you, how long have you been doing your model work? How long has this been your thing?
Whew. Oh my gosh, long. Since before you were born, honey.
Really?
No, I don't think so anyway. Um, no, I've been doing it for since 2011.
Okay.
Oh, that's a little over a decade.
Yeah.
Crazy. Considering I only got into it because I lost my office job during the
Okay.
last recession.
Now,
So a lot of
Mike,
my fans were probably not even born yet.
right, right. Now you can tell by my beard, I was probably born, but Mike, he is questionable. He could fall in that 11-year-old range and fall into that
Sure,
category.
sure, I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see that.
I'm a spring
He really
chicken
gets
over here.
farted a lot when he goes out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
they don't look and see the bald head and the gray throughout the beard. No, no. They see the
No,
baby
they just look
face.
at the baby face.
Uh-huh.
Yes. The fat, yes, yes.
But did you say
Um,
the fat baby face, Brian?
no, I was going there, but you know what? We got too much to go over. I'm not even gonna go. So you do, I mean, so you're modeling, it pays the bills. This is what you do. This is what
Yeah,
Pandora.
yeah. I it's cool. I started my own business after I started modeling, just kind of set up my own LLC, did it all myself.
Yeah.
And under that umbrella, I started branching out into a bunch of different things because when I started modeling, for example, out in Los Angeles, I worked for a company called Men Are Slaves.
Okay. I like it.
They produced femdom content, so it was the funnest work because
Yeah.
they had all these guys that were willing to work for free. They were submissives and they
Yeah.
just wanted to be in the clips,
Hmm.
and they would wear masks because probably a lot of them had day jobs where they didn't
Right.
want to be seen in fetish clips. But we would do things like they would sit like this, like human chairs, and we would sit on them and just like eat our lunch.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And I started getting a lot of fan mail based on the work I did for that site. And I had someone write me and say, I would really love to session with you in person. And I started thinking, I think I could be a pro dom. I could do that.
Yeah.
And then working for other producers, I started thinking, the real way to make money is have your own store. So I set up my own store. And the next thing you know, I started doing video editing for other people. And it's just sort of branched out from there. And I've also gotten into mainstream acting more and doing mainstream filmmaking and
Oh,
writing
wow.
scripts and things like that, which has been really fun. We're actually going to be shooting, we're in pre-production right now for a short horror film that I wrote.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, you doing that locally or you flying
That's
out somewhere?
local.
Or okay.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I lived in LA for 16 years and I did not get into mainstream acting at all. And then once I came to Philly, I started taking an acting class, and people ask me, well, why? Why didn't you do it out there? Too much competition.
Mhm.
Way less
absolutely.
competition in Philly. And there's actually a lot of work in New York. I've done some background work. Background for The Deuce. And
Okay.
get this, the scene that we were shooting was actually a porn award ceremony. I don't know if you watched The Deuce, you remember, I think it was like second season
Okay.
when like Maggie Gyllenhaal is full into the porn star thing. And she goes to this award ceremony where they're giving awards for all these 70s movies. And so I was one of the porn stars. I was actually walking directly behind Maggie Gyllenhaal. You can see me in the scene. It's
Wow.
really
It's you.
That don't know,
You froze,
explain
Ryan.
exactly how I would, I have, what I picked out of your sites and things like that. But explain to the people what it is that you do, so they clearly
Well,
know.
how do I explain the fetish world? It's pretty fascinating, actually. There's really nothing that hasn't been made into a fetish.
Okay.
And I guess I would define fetish as something that's not normally sexualized, but somehow people make it sexual. I mean, I'll give
Right.
you an example. So
Yeah.
I worked in the beginning of my career, I worked a lot with a bondage producer named Steve Villa. And he's
Okay.
a great guy, by the way, great to work with. Ties the wraps on your head a little tight. That's really the bad thing I would say about him, but he's really fun to work with. And he's an ex-cop.
Okay.
And he got into this because when he said when he was a kid, he would watch the old serials, from the 40s and 50s, where the
Right.
girl got tied to the train tracks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that sort of, hyped him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you hear that a lot. I think a lot of people's fetishes are formed when they're young, and not trying to get creepy about it. Or anything.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying, because I'll read stuff online. People like, yeah, I'm into this because when I was younger, these are like the cartoons I watched. So now, like the women that I like or the men that I like, I have like the same physical characteristic as, or
Right.
like my kink is this because I like this over here when I was younger, and two
Yeah.
and two together when I got older.
Or maybe you had a teacher who looked a certain way.
Yep.
You realize, oh, I really like that body type. You get a crush on your
Yeah.
teacher. Or for me, I realized I was bisexual in high school because I was in marching band and I developed a crush on the female drum major.
You always hear like the teachers, you never hear the female drum major. That's a new one right there.
Yeah, that was a new one. I was a band geek. What can I say?
I can tell
It's
you
always,
this
it's
right
always
now,
the band
Pandora,
geeks. It's
I never
always
had
the
a
band
woman
geeks.
teacher that was under the age of 60, so I do not relate at all.
What? You never had a woman what?
I never had a woman teacher who was under the age of 60. I don't know what it was when we were younger, but they did not look like they do now. So that would never be my fetish, I can tell you
You
that.
didn't develop a gilf fetish, I take it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm right precariously in between MILF and gilf.
Right. That's good though. I mean, look at the audience. The audience is out there. You know what I mean? It isn't.
Oh yeah,
like
I mean, I can work forever, guys. I can work
Yeah.
forever. Okay, I've read an article about a porn star in her 80s. All right, it happened.
Yeah. And like I always said, I admire. Everybody knows that I admire sex workers. I've mentioned that numerous times on the show. That's why I thought, what, this is perfect guest, and we do thank you for coming by. Now let me ask you something, Pandora. What's the craziest thing that you might have done while doing your hustle of modeling, fetish, whatever? What was the
Oh my
craziest
gosh, God, I was afraid this question was gonna come up. It always does. People are like, "What's the weirdest thing you've ever?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a tough competition."
thing? Right.
Yeah. I mean, where do I start? But I would
Yeah,
say,
I don't know. Just a crazy story would be, give
okay,
us an example of some craziness that goes on in your hustle.
okay. Well, I used to work for a dungeon doing the pro dom thing.
Okay.
And we would have quite a lot of women working there, and the whole thing is we would sit in and we would kind of wait for people to call, almost like you would think the stereotypical brothel, where
Right.
they just come in and they pick, oh, I want her, that's kind of how it was set up. And the headmistress of the dungeon, she had a client who was into scat.
Oh wow.
Is familiar with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So she said that we we could get a lot of money, each one of us, if we were able to give him some scat.
Yeah. Right.
And so we all went to the bathroom with plastic containers, and you're expected to fill those containers and I think we each made like a couple $100 off of that.
Oh wow.
So that was pretty great. Always
Hey.
the bathroom functions are always the weirdest thing. Then she had another client who liked to be peed on.
Yeah.
And so they, he paid us, I think it was like $25 for each pee. So we're all like drinking water. But I had this weird pee shyness. So here, he's lying in the bathtub and he's just waiting for me. And I'm like squatting over him and I can't do it. I can't do it. It was the weirdest thing.
No, that's
Yeah,
wild.
the shy
myself, I
bladder,
would-
like even just using a public restroom, if you have a shy bladder, is rough enough. But having someone waiting for you to pee on them, it's got to be even harder.
It's something about the whole, I can't really do it on command because
Yeah.
I was shooting actually not too far from Pittsburgh. There's a producer who does because there's a fetish for women having to pee and holding their pee,
Right.
and then they just let it out, right, and it goes all over their pants and stuff. Who knows where people get that fetish from. But so here I was, and I was working with another model. We were shooting for him, and he's like gives us all this water to drink, and he just sets the camera on a tripod, and he's like, look, if you're too pee shy, you don't want to do it around me, I'll go somewhere and we'll just leave the camera rolling as long as it takes. And I'm here like 4 hours later.
Oh jeez.
I'm trying.
Now, is there anything, Pandora, is there ever anything that comes across that you're just like, no, I won't do that?
It's a good question too, but I mean, I get asked a lot to do smoking stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just won't do it. I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I wouldn't even do it for just like a one-time session. I mean, even somebody could pay me whatever, I just won't do it.
Right.
That goes to the whole like health thing. It's just really unhealthy. I couldn't do it.
That's really awesome, an awesome quality to have, because the fact that you are conscientious about your health, and you always keep that solid no matter what it is that you're doing or you're involved in. I mean, that's a plus.
That's a hard limit. Smoking.
Right.
I have a question to circle back to what you were saying before, how you can work forever in porn now. That used not to be the case.
I know.
It was like once it felt like, the female actresses hit like 30, even if earlier, they're like, all right, you're done. We got to get someone else. And like the guys would be able to work forever.
It's like Menudo. Menudo.
Yeah, like the guys would be able to work forever. Now it's, like everyone can now do it forever because it's, the internet has made it accessible for whatever, like you said, like your kink or your fetishes, you can find it.
Mm-hmm. The internet affected that, and then the fact that they realized that they could make money off of like MILF and cougar porn.
Yep.
In fact, I had a friend who she was in her 20s, and they started marketing her as a MILF.
Wow.
I mean, I guess,
like, hey, 16 and pregnant, yeah. Jeez.
But that shows it was such a lucrative category that it does so well that they kind of push people into the whole thing, they are or not. And then you have, I think the difference between MILF and cougar is a cougar is someone that does things with younger guys. So I have typically dated younger guys, like ever since when I was 40, I was dating a 23-year-old, which was a mess. He was a mess.
Right.
He was very high maintenance, but
23-year-old guys, we're not that mature at that point. We're not that mature at that age.
Right. Oh my gosh, like you might as well be teenagers.
Yeah, until we hit like 30, 35,
Yeah. I'm like, I'll stick to guys in their 30s.
Yeah.
They're a little more settled.
Yeah, that's when we kind of figure out life at that point.
Right.
Or fake it
better.
The
thing is kind of like if you're shooting porn or even bondage with a younger guy, or maybe even a younger woman,
Right.
And that has its own mystique to it for people.
Now, you said that you are bi. Are you generally a sexual person outside of what you do also? Or is this something that you're like, you know what, I'm at this point in my life where this is what I do? And, when things happen, but are you generally a sexual person?
I always have been. Yeah. I've always been very open-minded. about sexual stuff. I had some pretty wild encounters in my 20s. I was in an open relationship. Well, my first serious boyfriend, I met him when I was 18 and we met in college. And
Okay.
we were together for 8 years. And you change a lot from 18
Absolutely.
to like 26. You go through a lot of changes, and we tried very, very hard to stay together despite that. Like I wanted to go have adventures and do fun things, and he was more of
Right.
a homebody. And so we had this open relationship to try to spice things up and maybe see if we could. And then I ended up leaving him for someone that I, messed
Yeah.
around with
Right.
while we were open. So yeah, I've always been pretty open sexually, but it's funny because dating can be really hard doing what I do for a living.
And that was my next question. What is your dating life like?
It's pretty non-existent right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I just broke up with someone in the spring, and that had nothing to do with my work. Like, he was really accepting of my work and had no problem with it, which was
Right.
refreshing, because you guys have no idea how
Right.
many times it turns out to be a problem. Even if someone, when they're first with you, I mean, a lot of times when you're dating, they're either very titillated by what you do, or they're intimidated,
Right.
or intimidated, with not much in between.
Yeah.
And they can start out being cool with it, and the next thing you know, they become very possessive.
Right.
And that's happened to me a couple of times. So it can be hard. And I think a lot of people, they'll date someone else who's in the industry, but these days you have so many women that do their own thing like I do. I mean,
Right.
it's very empowering. I mean, this is another thing too, is you
Absolutely.
get people, oh, you're being objectified. It's not like Boogie Nights anymore, okay?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's not like you have this smarmy man who's running everything, and you guys are all the objectified puppets. No, I mean, with OnlyFans, with being able to run your own clip store, I mean, I think a lot of older guys who've been in the business, whether it's porn or fetish, for a long time, they feel threatened by it because they realize they've kind of lost control. And there is an opportunity for women to run their own show. I mean, I decide who I work with. I decide who I see as a client. I have all the power and all the control, and it's very,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's refreshing
It
to
sure
be able
is.
to do that.
That's like the
super
way
excited. Now,
that's like the way it should be. Oh,
have
Yeah,
you ever did any stripping, Pandora? Got in any stripping work? Stripper work?
I took a pole dancing class, and that didn't happen
Okay.
well for me.
Yeah.
When you get older, I mean, come on, like I got back problems, I got shoulder.
Right. Right.
I saw this meme that said, the thing I miss most about childhood is my back not hurting.
Yes.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Ain't
You
that
know,
the truth?
yeah. Like we're
I
at the age
wish
where
I had that flexibility. I love
Yeah.
watching pole dancing. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful art form.
Absolutely.
you know,
Now, let me
we're at
ask
that
you-
age now where you wake up, you have to take your house ibuprofen before you get to work, and take your work ibuprofen. So,
Right.
yeah,
It's
like none of us need to be on stripper poles. Okay.
Now let me ask you, Pandora. Now you're on OnlyFans, correct?
Yes.
And where else? Where else can people find you, Pandora? And tell us how, what we need to find you. I mean, what are you
Sure.
under? How can some of the listeners find you?
Yeah, no problem. Well, I cam on StreamMate. I'm only really camming on one site right now.
Okay.
So my name on there is Miss Pandora Plays, Plays.
Okay.
And then my clips for sale store is ondemandfetish.com. Just go to On Demand Fetish. I think that's a pretty cool URL I picked up.
Okay.
I also own cougarbondage.com.
Cougar.
Cougarbondage.com. And then if you go to OnlyFans, it's just Miss Pandora under there.
Miss Pandora. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely take a look. Obviously, that was for our audience, but
Yeah, not for you, Ryan. No.
no. Now,
Oh, isn't it great how you sacrifice for your audience? I just love it.
You know, he's always willing
You're
to take
such a
one for the
martyr.
team.
exactly. That's the way I look at it. People don't see it that way, Pandora. So you recently got out of this relationship. How long was you in the relationship for?
We were together a little over a year.
Okay. Now, what I find most fascinating about this tale, about how you were saying with the guys or gals or whoever you meet, they, you got to kind of take it and see how they're going to handle it. They might be okay at first, and they turn. Now, earlier this year, we talked to, I don't know if you're familiar with Aurora Snow.
Yes, I've heard of her. I've never met her, never had the pleasure
Okay.
of meeting her, but definitely heard of her.
We had her on earlier this year, and it was the same thing. It was that same kind of story. We talked to her about, just that relationship thing and how that goes. And it's basically the same story everywhere. Some, they're cool with it. Some dudes, they just want to have nothing to do with it. And then, like you said, there's guys that are cool, and then they switch over time. So that's got to be tough for you, because you're trying to fill them out as a person in a relationship. And, it's really day to day, just depending on, how they wake up and if they feel okay with everything.
It can be. It definitely can be. And then on the other hand, you might have someone who, at least I've experienced this, they're doing stuff behind your back.
Yeah.
And so they project. And I have tried, in a couple of my long-term relationships, I have tried to get them involved with what I do.
Yeah.
I lived with someone in Baltimore for a couple of years, and I got him into helping me produce my clips. Like, I would pay him and stuff like that. I started doing these foot fetish parties, and I had him DJ. He was a DJ and had a huge record collection, and I had him DJ my fetish party. And that didn't go on. You would think, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. Yeah. I'm dragging him to shoots where I'm showing him that a lot of these male producers are definitely not the type of person I would be attracted to. I would say 9 times out of 10, they were older guys, just not, I didn't find them attractive at all. So you would think that would make them realize, it's just a job,
Right.
Try to make that clear, but I guess when you see the kind of content I show you, it is very highly sexualized. Some of it is just silly. Like, some of the things that sell really well for me are hiccups and stomach growling.
Really?
Yeah, which is not sexual at all. You could be threatened by that, right?
That's what I get from Mike every day. We're in the studio together working. So I don't, yeah. See, now
so wait, explain this. Hiccups and what?
Stomach growling.
Stomach growling.
Yeah.
Where you just do hiccups
and gas, Mike, that whole thing?
Wait, what
I was just trying to remind Mike, like, when he gets bad gas around here, that's kind of what we
farting is a fetish too. Farting is a fetish.
Yes.
Too.
I'm in the wrong business.
We'll be over on OnlyFans by the end of the day, Pandora.
But no, I've never
on gender, unfortunately. This is one of the industries that women really have more of the power. I'm not saying, I've met male pro doms, and of course there are, men who, but I think it's predominantly women.
Now the dark road that I see you on, I just have one observation. This dark road that I observed from the whole situation. And this is going to help you, I think, in the long run. The dark road that I see that you're taking is you went from Pittsburgh and LA. Now you're dating people in Philly and Baltimore. So up in Pittsburgh, that is a dark road.
You think that, but let me tell you, dating in LA was pretty tricky, especially being someone who's semi-intelligent. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly going out on a date with this guy. He was a male model type, and he was an actor of some success. He had an ongoing role in All My Children or something like that.
Okay.
And I remember bringing up something as being Freudian, and he just looked at me with this blank stare, like,
oh God.
I was like, do you not know who Freud is?
Right.
No.
You just pat him on the head. Lucky you're pretty.
No idea.
Yeah.
At least, the East Coast seems like a little bit higher intelligence.
Yeah. It seems like, I would agree. I would agree. Now, Pandora requested that we play a game that we play here on our show, but just to keep it interesting, I changed the game just a tad, but I think you're going to have the same amount of fun either way, okay?
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to it.
So what we're going to do is it's going to be you versus Mike, okay? You versus Mike, which I give you the advantage right off the top.
Mike's going down.
Probably.
Mike is going down.
100%. Yeah.
Now, this game, what we're going to play, I'm going to give you, we're going to go one at a time. I'm going to give you a name of a celebrity. And you have to tell me if that celebrity is dead or alive.
Oh
If
boy.
that celebrity is dead or alive.
Oh, this could be tricky.
It
Is
could
there
be-
any that are like in between?
what does that
Maybe
even
some
mean?
who are, like really
Or-
old, like
Well, we'll leave Queen Elizabeth out because I think she's on her deathbed.
Yeah,
So
she's in the middle right
She
now.
is like,
yeah, she's in limbo. So we'll skip right over.
Okay,
the Queen.
great.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Mike, are
Yes.
you ready?
yes.
All right, I'm going to start with Pandora just because she's a lot better looking than you.
I'm a
first
sexy
person-
beast. I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah.
there.
Person, Pandora,
Mike is pretty sexy in his own right.
Thank you. I'll take that. That's a win.
and the okay. So first person, Pandora, is Jimmy Carter alive or dead? The
Oh
former
my god,
president.
he's like another old one. He's like 100.
He would be up there if he was alive. And
Well, see, now you're making me second guess.
well, no, don't go by that. I just wasn't real sure how to word it at the moment. He may be alive, he may be dead, but he is old either way.
At this very second right now, I'm gonna guess he's still alive.
You're gonna guess that Jimmy Carter is still alive, and that's your final answer.
That's my final answer.
That is correct. That is correct. Mike, you better have your thinking hat on.
I do. I'm locked in and ready to go.
Okay, Mike. Gary Coleman. Is Gary Coleman
Gary Coleman's
dead or
dead.
alive? The little black dude used to play on different
Yeah, he's
shows.
dead.
He's dead.
He's dead. I know for a fact.
Why did you kill him?
I can't answer that question on advice of counsel. Okay, my lawyer is telling me
You
do not
please.
answer that question.
All right. That was an easy one.
He just said that
That was
so
just to get you
definitively.
warmed
No,
up.
no, because when he died, like people were made the meme of like the mini Coleman cooler and go, "Hey, we found his coffin."
Oh,
That just stuck with me. I'm like, that's so wrong.
too
It
soon.
was-
All right,
was-
Mike, you're talking too much. I got to get back to what's important here. Pandora.
Yeah.
George H.W. Bush, the father, President 41, is the father, President Bush. Is he dead or alive?
Oh, that guy's deader than a doorknob.
He's
Oh,
deader
like
than
you,
a-
oh, so you said that quite authoritatively. Secret
I am
Service is gonna come find.
100% sure
Secret
he's
Service
dead.
is coming
And I
after you.
remembered, like, right before he died, there was some scandal, like he was pinching his nurse's butt. Or
Yeah,
There was
yeah, he
something,
was
yeah.
happy grabby. Yeah,
he got the grabby when he was old. I guess because
Mhm.
you can get away with that when you're like 98.
yeah. When you're about to die, you know.
Yeah, right. Mike, Nelson Mandela. Is Nelson Mandela dead or alive?
He's dead.
And that's your final answer.
My final answer.
He is dead. These are killing, guys.
Well, you're kind of
Um,
giving us some sort of easy ones. To be honest.
Yeah.
Give you easy ones?
No, you are giving us easy ones.
Oh, okay. They're getting harder. Relax.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll find out. This is a snooze
All right.
fest.
Next, Pandora. John
Yeah.
McEnroe. John McEnroe, is he dead or alive?
He's the tennis guy,
player.
right?
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Tennis guy was married to Tatum O'Neal, right, or something.
Yep.
Yes.
Always had anger problems.
Yep.
God,
Yeah. Wow, you know a lot about tennis.
no, I don't really. I mean, I just remember him from growing up.
You know, literally everything I know about tennis is what she just said. I know nothing. more.
Me too.
Oh man, that's kind of that is a tough one because I think he's alive. I'm gonna go with alive. I think he's
You're
alive.
gonna go with Pete Sampras is still alive, and that's your final answer.
Yeah.
You said John McEnroe first.
Yeah,
you
who are
said
you
McEnroe.
talking
I'm sorry.
now? Bait and switch on me here.
I'm sorry. John McEnroe is still alive. Good
Oh,
job.
yay.
Michael. Paula Yates. Paula Yates, who was a British presenter and writer. She was born in 1959. Is Paula Yates dead or alive?
I'll go with alive.
And that's your final answer?
Final answer.
She is dead. She is dead.
I don't even know who that is.
Me either. I had a 50-50 shot. I just rolled the dice.
Pandora takes the lead.
The thing is, was she the one who was married to Michael Hutchins? I mean, he's definitely dead.
You're really smart. I don't even, I can't even talk to you. You know a lot of stuff. Pandora, Liam Neeson.
He is alive and he will find you.
He is alive.
will.
You're right.
He has,
We'll find you.
he has a certain set of skills.
So Pandora has 4. Mike has 2. Mike, Ray
You
Charles.
only have
he's
2?
dead
Wait
alive.
a minute. I thought he only got 1 wrong.
I have 2 right, 1 wrong.
Yeah, he's on his 4th one now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got 4 right. I got, yeah. 2
Oh,
wrong.
gotcha. I
Yeah, yeah,
started
yeah.
first. Yeah.
Mike, Ray Charles.
He's dead.
He is dead. Good
He's
job.
dead. I remember his funeral.
Do you really?
Yeah, I think it was part of it was broadcast.
Yeah, he's been dead a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I pay attention a little bit to the news.
All right, Pandora. Stephen King.
Oh, he's definitely alive. I follow him on Twitter. I know he's alive.
All right. Michael. Let me pull. I don't even know who that person is, so let me just go by.
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh.
I'm helping you out, man. Come
Oh,
on.
okay. I might have known who it was. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I think it should be
Ringo's-
a rule that if he doesn't know who it is, he can't ask us.
That's
yeah,
fair,
I
that's
at least
fair.
have an idea.
Yeah.
Mike, Ringo Starr. Ringo Starr. Is he
Is he
dead or
dead?
alive?
I'm gonna go with
The
dead. I'm gonna go
Ringo
with dead.
Starr is dead. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, she just corrected me.
Incorrect. Ringo is
He's
still alive.
definitely alive.
I don't like the Beatles,
And he
so-
still looks like he's in his 20s too.
Like,
He
see,
does,
I don't
yeah, he don't
like the
look bad,
Beatles.
right?
I don't. All I see is Paul McCartney, and he annoys me anymore. Go away.
I
from
like
all-
the Beatles and I find Paul McCartney annoying. so.
Okay, thank you. All right, it's
Yeah,
not just
right,
me then.
Who's next?
Pandora.
Pandora.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Oh man, it's sad because I really liked him and I like that movie about him, but I'm pretty sure he's dead.
He's dead.
Yep.
And that's your final.
That's my final.
He is dead.
He is. It was a
Yeah.
sad day.
Let's see.
He's out in the cosmos now.
He is. Him and Carl Sagan floating around.
Yeah, him and Carl.
Have you ever seen that that meme where he's floating into the black hole on his
On his little wheelchair.
his wheelchair?
Yeah.
One of
No,
the funniest ever.
Uh-huh.
Just because that's what he
what's
was
the
into.
joke about that though?
Well, he had like him and his like the black holes. There's like him and another scientist had debates about it. That's the only thing I know. And then him falling into the black hole.
Giving you a softball, brother. Michael Jordan, is he dead or alive?
Oh, Jordan's still alive.
Yes.
Which Michael Jordan?
The basketball player.
Oh,
No,
okay.
not Michael B, the actor.
Not Michael B. Jordan. Which, by the way, I was
Pandora.
background on the Creed movies too. That was fun.
What?
Michael Jordan is
Wow.
good-looking guy in person.
Okay.
I'm jealous.
And
That was a
Sylvester
good movie.
Stallone is really nice. He's actually a really nice guy.
I figured he would be. I always
Yeah.
thought that Sylvester Stallone would be cool. Pandora, Charlton Heston, the NRA guy, the actor.
Yeah, the Ben-Hur
Yes,
dude who I think he got Alzheimer's and then he died.
that is true. That is correct. He did die.
He was Moses.
Yes, he was.
He was Moses.
I forgot about that.
We're gonna have to have Pandora on a whole different episode, like where we ask a bunch of like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Movie trivia.
Um,
She's killing it.
Mike,
You're gonna have to come up with a more difficult game for me.
we do.
Well, he's used to dealing with me, and like
It's gotta be
he's
fun.
used to dumbing it down for me.
I
Aw.
do gotta dumb it down for him, but we gotta go like Jeopardy for her. All right, where are we at? Who's
Yeah, I'm up.
one more.
I'm up. I'm
One
up.
more. Mike, the last one. Somehow you're getting all the easy ones. John Lennon from the Beatles. Is
He
dead
died.
or
He died
alive?
the day before I was born. He died.
Really?
Wow, I was
December
10
8th,
when he
1980.
died, so that means I'm like 10 years older than you. Wow. Make me feel old, you guys.
I know. Mike,
Yeah, but
Mike
you
is
look
old.
younger than us, so you win.
Mike, why don't you go? Mike, let the adults talk for a minute, would you?
You're
Um,
like 2 years older than me. Hush.
So I do want to say that victory goes to Pandora. She
Yay,
totally.
what did I win? What did I
You know what?
win?
I don't know. What do you win? I'll find
You
something
have
for I'm
nothing
not gonna
there
let you go away
for the winner.
empty-handed.
You're terrible.
Nothing. Oh my gosh, what did I do
know.
this for?
See, this is why I tell him to go play at the kids' table. We will find something here, Pandora, for you. I don't know what yet.
T-shirt. Do you have T-shirts or anything?
We have T-shirts.
t-shirt.
We
You
do
get a
have
t-shirt
T-shirts. Yes.
on us.
Great. Yeah, I want a two Dum Yinzers T-shirt.
You will have a
And I'll
T-shirt.
even, I'll promote you guys. I'll wear it with no bra on my Twitter.
There
You
we
know
go.
what? I
Oh,
love
you're
this
awesome.
idea. I love this idea, and if Mike doesn't shut up, I'm gonna. But hey, listen. Could you do me one favor, just because you were in the fetishes? Can you show us your feet?
Oh, I really need a pedicure right now.
Tell him no.
I'm
Tell him no.
overdue for. Well, how much?
I don't know. You be the judge. You use the discretion and give us as much of the feet as you can, or
She
you
was
feel
talking about the
comfortable
cash
with.
money, homie.
All right, look, you're giving me a T-shirt, so I guess you can get one.
We're giving our audience an opportunity to take a look at the goods too.
And I also want to mention I am in the Wikipedia of feet.
All right.
There's
By
a
the way,
Wikipedia of
there's a
feet,
wiki.
and I am on it.
Okay. Now here's the thing. I would suggest boobs. However, Mike always tells me I can't have boobs on this show on YouTube.
You can't.
So that's
You're gonna
why
get us
I
the black
did.
one.
I
You're gonna
kinda
get shut
watered it-
down.
Yeah.
You will get shut
I
down.
did. I watered it down to feet. So I mean, if you're cool with that, I don't want to do anything that you're not comfortable with. But if you are cool with it, you could let the audience take a look at your feet and seeing what like I said, check
I
out
can't
the goods.
believe I'm doing this. All right.
All right, here we go. So here we have
There we go.
the Pandora the Fetish Kinky Cougar, and we're taking a look at her feet.
Pretty.
So anybody in the audience, if you're into feet, there you go. Those are some mighty fine, beautiful feet. There they are.
Thank you.
I think that if you were a fetish person, those are beautiful feet, and I would recommend anybody that's listening right now or in the future to watch the.
Go buy my foot fetish clips on demandfetish.com.
ondemandfetish.com. Everybody check her out. Pandora,
Yeah.
give us a rundown of your sites and names one more time, just so we can leave it out there for
Sure.
everybody to hear.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Okay. Yeah, my clip store is ondemandfetish.com. I'm on OnlyFans under Miss Pandora. And I'm on Stream8 as Miss Pandora Plays.
And there you go, everybody. Hey,
Cougar Bondage.
And cougarbondage.com.
Mike is really into this. I'm telling you
I
that
know.
right
I have to for the notes for
Writing
the
all
show.
down.
now.
I'm going to start seeing a lot of clip orders in Pittsburgh.
You are. Recognize that name.
He probably
But
uses a fake name, though, doesn't he?
No, I'll use the real name. I got no
Okay,
shame.
good.
I got no shame in anything.
He's not smart enough for that, Pandora. But hey, we do want to thank you so much for coming by. It was super
Yeah, this was
awesome talking
fun.
to you. We appreciate you, getting into the shenanigans with us, playing the game
I love shenanigans.
that you dominated. No coincidence, you dominated this game.
Yeah.
And we got to see your feet, which I find was very, very beautiful feet.
Thank you.
Mike, do you have anything for Pandora before we take off for the day?
No, I just thank you for coming on and just
Sure, yeah.
it was fun, and thank you for the end there for playing along with us.
Anytime, guys, anytime.
Dealing our
And you know what?
shenanigans.
Next time I'm in Pittsburgh, maybe we could do like an in-studio thing. That could be fun.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, that'd be
I will
awesome.
pay you money if we do the in studio and you show us your feet. I will give you money at that point. But for now, we'll have to settle for the
Oh,
t-shirt.
you're
Is that
looking
all
at
right?
me.
We'll figure all that out when we get it.
Maybe we could do like a contest thing where you put up like a big barrier and I stick my feet out and Mike sticks his feet out and you have to judge which is which.
Absolutely.
I am game. I am game.
Absolutely. And depending on how well it goes, maybe we could do the same thing for north of the border as well for the both of you to see whose breasts are nicer.
And we'll see.
We'll see
All
about
right,
that.
all right.
One. We both
We'll
have
see
a hard
about that.
limit right there with you, Ryan.
But no, thank you,
Yes.
Pandora. Thank you for playing
You're
along. You
welcome,
were
guys.
super
Thanks for
awesome.
having me on.
We appreciate you. We plan on definitely getting, keeping in touch and doing more with you.
Absolutely. Anytime.
I find you very interesting, and I hope that our audience does too. Please, everybody, go check Pandora out. So much stuff that you could dig into. I just, I don't even know where to begin. Like I said,
So
Mike
much
and I will
stuff.
start. But no, there you have it, everybody. Miss Pandora, thank you so much. And Mike, Pandora, Ryan, everybody, this 2 Dum Yinzers. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
All right.